The story of Bani Israel, or the children of Israel, is not just ancient history, it's a shared spiritual heritage in Islam. It begins with Prophet Abraham, whose unwavering monotheism shaped the faith of generations. Allah promised to make him a leader for all humanity, a promise fulfilled through his sons, Ismail and Ishaq. Ismail's descendants became the Arabs, leading to the Prophet Muhammad, while Ishaq's lineage became the children of Israel. This shared ancestry connects Judaism, Christianity and Islam, all tracing back to Ibrahim. The Quran honors both Ismail and Ishaq as righteous prophets, emphasizing their divine purpose. Their separate journeys, Ismail in Makkah, Ishaq in Canaan, spread monotheism across regions. For Muslims, the history of Bani Israel is part of their own spiritual story, not a distant tale. The prophets of Bani Israel are revered in Islam, and their lessons remain relevant for Muslims today. This shared beginning is a reminder, humanity is one family, united by the call to worship the one true God. The legacy of Bani Israel continues through Prophet Ishaq's son, Jacob, who was also called Israel. Yaqub's 12 sons became the founders of the 12 tribes of Bani Israel. Among them was Joseph, whose story of betrayal, patience, and forgiveness is a powerful lesson in faith. The children of Israel were blessed with guidance and a covenant with God, receiving more prophets than any other nation. Prophets like Musa, Harun, Dawood, Sulaiman, and Isa were sent from among them, carrying the torch of monotheism. They were entrusted with divine laws to establish justice, but their history is a cycle of faith and forgetfulness. The blessings they received came with great responsibility. Their story is a lesson for all upholding or breaking one's covenant with God has profound consequences. After Yusuf, the children of Israel's fortunes in Egypt changed. They became enslaved by a tyrannical pharaoh. Pharaoh's cruelty peaked with the order to kill all newborn Israelite boys. In this darkness, Moses was born, saved by his mother's faith and raised in Pharaoh's palace. When Musa reached maturity, Allah appointed him as a prophet and sent him to demand Pharaoh free the children of Israel. Musa, with his brother Harun, confronted Pharaoh with miracles, but Pharaoh's arrogance only grew. The struggle between Musa and Pharaoh became a symbol of faith versus tyranny. Despite oppression, Musa urged his people to trust in God's promise of deliverance. Their suffering was a test, forging their identity and preparing them for liberation. The mission of Musa would become a turning point in their history. After Pharaoh's repeated defiance, Allah sent plagues upon Egypt, sparing Bani Israel. Musa led his people out of Egypt by night, pursued by Pharaoh's army to the edge of the Red Sea. At God's command, Musa struck the sea, parting the waters for Bani Israel to cross safely. Pharaoh's army was drowned as the sea closed, fulfilling God's promise of deliverance. In the wilderness, Allah provided food and revealed the Torah to Musa on Mount Sinai. Yet, in Musa's absence, some fell into idolatry, worshipping a golden calf. Their disobedience led to severe consequences and exposed their weakness of faith. When commanded to enter the Holy Land, they refused out of fear, defying God's command. As a result, they were condemned to wander the desert for 40 years until a new generation arose. This period was a test of faith, meant to purify and prepare them for their destiny. The Exodus remains a powerful symbol of God's mercy and the consequences of disobedience. It marks the transformation of Bani Israel from slaves to a nation guided by divine law. After 40 years, a new generation of Bani Israel, free from the scars of slavery, was ready to enter the Holy Land. Under the leadership of Prophet Yusha bin Nun, Joshua, they crossed the Jordan and began building a society on divine law. Initially ruled by judges, the tribes eventually demanded a king to unite them. Allah appointed Saul, as their first king, despite doubts about his lineage. In battle against the giant Goliath, a young David, emerged as a hero, defeating Goliath with faith and courage. Dawood was chosen as both king and prophet, ushering in a new era for Bani Israel. His reign marked the beginning of a golden age, where leadership combined divine wisdom and justice. The unity and faith of this period became a model for future generations. The rise of Dawood set the stage for even greater achievements under his son. Prophet Dawood's rule brought justice, unity and prosperity to Bani Israel. He was gifted with the Psalms and a beautiful voice and established Jerusalem as the spiritual center. Dawood laid the foundations for a great temple, but it was his son Solomon who completed it. Suleiman was granted wisdom, command over the winds and jinn, and a kingdom of unmatched splendor. The temple, Masjid al-Aqsa, became a symbol of monotheism and the covenant with God. Suleiman's reign was marked by peace, justice, and miraculous blessings. This era was the peak of Bani Israel's history, led by prophet kings and united in faith. Their achievements showed what was possible under divine guidance. The legacy of Dawood and Suleiman remains central to Islamic tradition. After Suleiman's death, Bani Israel's unity fractured, the kingdom split and spiritual decline set in. Many strayed from monotheism, neglected the Torah, and pursued worldly desires. Allah in His mercy sent prophets like Elijah and Jeremiah to call them back, but many were rejected or persecuted. Persistent disobedience led to divine punishment, their kingdoms fell to foreign powers, and Jerusalem was destroyed. Exile and humiliation followed, a direct result of breaking their covenant with God. Even after returning and rebuilding, many altered their scriptures and misused religious authority. The Quran criticizes those who distorted God's message for personal gain. This cycle of sin and repentance revealed a deep need for renewal. The stage was set for the arrival of a prophet who would challenge their complacency. The next messenger would be one of the most significant in their history. His mission would mark a turning point for Bani Israel and the world. Into this troubled era, Allah sent Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus son of Mary, a prophet born miraculously to revive the children of Israel's faith. Isa confirmed the Torah, corrected its distortions, and called for sincere worship of God. By God's permission, he performed miracles, healing the sick, reviving the dead, and speaking as an infant. Despite these signs, most leaders rejected him, threatened by his message and miracles. They plotted against him, but Allah saved Isa, raising him to the heavens. The Quran is clear: Isa was neither killed nor crucified. His rejection marked a pivotal moment, ending the special status of Bani Israel. The divine message would now pass to a new community, embracing all prophets. The Bani Israel of the Quran are distinct from the modern state of Israel, which is rooted in political nationalism, not divine covenant. The ongoing conflict and suffering in Palestine are seen as human tragedies, not fulfillment of prophecy. Islam calls for justice, compassion, and protection of the innocent, echoing the teachings of all prophets. Islamic eschatology foretells the return of Isa, who will defeat the false Messiah and unite humanity in true monotheism. The story of Israel from Ibrahim to today is a reflection on guidance, responsibility, and justice. Favor with God is earned through faith and righteous action, not lineage. The Quranic stories of Bani Israel are timeless lessons for Muslims. Blessings come with obedience, and turning away brings consequences. The ultimate message is universal: stand for truth, justice, and compassion as taught by all the prophets.